Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alan Agostino, alongside my co-hosts Becca Patches and Michael McDonald. Welcome to the first episode of the News 99 spin-off podcast, News 99 Under 9, where you get all the top stories delivered to you in under 9 minutes. As we previously mentioned, this is the first episode of our little spin-off podcast, and this podcast would not even exist if it wasn't for our top story tonight, the tragedy that is the coronavirus, also known as COVID 19. The infectious disease first started in Wuhan, China. We're going to talk about just the impact of the disease, and we're going to talk about the facts, what's been going on, how different countries have handled the disease itself. Starting with how this whole sort of thing happened, unfortunately, we do not know what really caused the coronavirus. There's been a couple of theories going around. One of which is saying that a disease carried by bats in the Wuhan region of China kind of mutated itself with either a seasonal flu or like a little seasonal like illness there, which then caused what COVID-19 is. Another theory is that snakes that were eaten by sick bats, which were then eaten by people in the Wuhan region, might have caused this disease as well. It's absolutely scary. Probably the scariest thing about the coronavirus is the fact that currently there is no cure or vaccine. Doctors across the globe are working round time, just absolutely overtime, to try and see if they can find some sort of vaccine, some sort of like cure, any sort of like progress in this. Some of the symptoms of coronavirus include high fever, dry cough, fatigue, sore throat. The big one is lung issue, and a lot of the fatalities from the coronavirus are because of lung problems associated with the coronavirus. Absolutely scary situation. Mike, what can you tell us about how the United States has approached this and what Donald Trump has said in response to the coronavirus?
Well, Alan, I just want to give a little bit of a timeline of the past couple of days of what's going on with this thing. So on Wednesday, March 11th, which was just 3 days ago, the World Health Organization declared the coronavirus as a pandemic, which basically was the domino that started the rest of what we're going to see from the next couple of days. So the day after, on March 12th, Trump banned all travel to Europe for 30 days, with the exception of the United Kingdom. So basically, the stock market did take its actually biggest hit since 1987 on that day when that announcement came out. Then on Friday, Trump declared this as a national emergency in the Rose Garden. And he basically, with his top advisors and the doctors, they went over kind of what their plan is. So basically, it said that states and territories have access to up to $50 billion in federal funds to fight the coronavirus, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's always good to see that they're trying to get money out there so people can find a cure. And they also talked about some ways of testing people, because over the past couple of weeks, they've been having the United States has been having a harder and harder time to test people. So they are bringing in outside help from the Swiss healthcare giant Roche, which will basically give them permission to sell their 3.5-hour test to the United States. Not only that, they're actually taking, at least the state of New York at the time of this recording, is taking a playbook out of South Korea, where they're going to start doing drive-through testing. So basically, what the idea is, you drive your car to a government-run facility, and you get tested right there in your car. You don't even have to get out. And it basically just tells you if you have it or not. If you don't have it, they're on their way. And if you do have it, they take you in and they get you treated for it. New York has set this up in their contamination zone in a small town of New Rochelle. That was put under quarantine yesterday and won't be out of quarantine until about the 25th of March. Not only that, moving into more of the CDC side of things, they did come out saying it's about a 5-day incubation period for the disease once you come in contact with it. And you won't start seeing symptoms till about 11 days after. So from that 5-day incubation period. But just a couple of health tips, just keep washing your hands, 20 seconds warm water. That's the big thing right now. Also keeping your hands away from your face, and of course, staying out of large groups. As we're going to talk about in a bit, we're talking about how most states are banning large gatherings like sports, concerts, all that stuff. And even the state of Louisiana went as far as to postponing their Democratic primary in the coming weeks. So that was a pretty big shock all around. And at the moment, I'm pretty sure the estimated time for a cure is what they're saying is about 12 to 18 months. But that's just speculatory right now, so we'll just have to wait and see in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. One final statistic to add onto that. As of the date of recording, which it is Friday, March 13th, 2020, the total number of deaths is 4,720, which is around 3.5% of all
Actually, I'm
confirmed
going to stop
cases.
you there for a second, Alan. I'm actually seeing it's about 5,400 deaths
It
at
is,
the time of recording.
oh,
But we
wow, it's
also
even
have
higher. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have just under a 71,000 recovery rate though. So, in
Mhm.
compared to the total number, which is about 145,000 cases, that's a pretty big difference in numbers right there for cured versus deaths.
The crazy thing about this disease as well is just how swiftly the reaction has been from like various organizations to either cancel events or stop events from happening or get colleges and high schools and large gatherings of people just out and into safety and into the privacy of their own homes. Becca, can you tell me how Hollywood and like the entertainment industry is like handling this crisis?
Yeah, many like events and stuff like Comic-Con and CinemaCon in Las Vegas and many film festivals are being postponed and canceled, mainly canceled. Many movies and stuff like the new James Bond movie, Mulan, Fast and Furious, and A Quiet Place Part 2 are being postponed like for a long time and almost until next year. Um, I think Fast and Furious is the one being postponed until like next year. And interestingly, as of yesterday, Black Widow hasn't changed its plans for the release date. Um, the global box office has faced a $2 billion shortfall so far, and also like uh, um, every sport has been canceled, like professional sports.
Mhm.
Uh, Tours like Dan and Shay and Billie Eilish have been postponed. I think Dan and Shay's been postponed till November. And I've read that the biggest hit in the entertainment industry is uncertainty because they don't know whether or not to postpone or cancel, how bad it's going to get, which is everyone's worry. Yeah.
Wow, absolutely scary situation there. And that's probably a good way for us to end this first episode with just under 2 minutes to spare. So, from all of us here, thank you for listening to this, the first episode of News 99 Under 9, all the top stories in under 9 minutes. I'm Alan Agostino alongside my co hosts, Mike McDonald and Becca Patches. Have a good night and stay safe out there. Goodbye.